Hey guys, we're back. Tyranny. So, last time I fucking killed the, I didn't kill anybody. I stole the, retrieved the, whatchamacallit of what's it. So now, we do other shit.
I got it.
Okay. Let's see what this is. Probably tried looting it and it was a... yeah, one of these things. Yeah. It's just this... Beastman. Ball talk. Alright. I'm curious, now that I have at least one thing against Graven Ash, I'm curious if I go to his camp, does he still not want me there? I'm considering that that's totally the... So, Vendrian's Well. No, it looks like I can't go there anymore. Vendrian Citadel, Ascension Hall. Guess I can't go there. This massive fort. Took the ancient cat. Okay, this is where he lives. Okay. Tested lands. Effigy. Cacophony. Trail, 3 days. Maybe that teleporting doesn't seem to save you much time there. Oh well. Okay. Alright.
Found something.
Oh. Here already. I don't even know why we're here. Better bow, Fate Finder. Not to be confused with Bait Finder. Bronze Brotherhood Mace. Go into my inventory. Okay. It's probably better. Tearsman Hunting Bow. Come on. Yeah, this is almost completely better. Just take all. Then I again. Fate Finder, alright. Alright, let's... It's up here. Supposed to go here for, like, something, but I don't remember what. Beast Woman. Renata. These are enemies, it looks like.
They won't see me coming.
clearly the best choice.
I'll take care of it. Another.
Did it miss? It looks like it. Who's a problem? Who's gonna be a problem? You're a mage. Or a sage. You're gonna be a problem.
Battle.
Oh! That was good. Guards, we are under attack. Okay. Another Sag. Passive hours. Might need to try and get Lantry some other shit. You're named.
Nipples on lead.
Did you just say this weapon is like nipples on lead?
Await my signal.
I like that the beast woman is throwing rocks. That was good. That was fun. I like that. Cowl of disbelief. Alright. Dampening. Plus 10 magic defense. Someone handy with a sewing needle stitched incomprehensible arcane phrases into this fine fabric, which causes scalp to tingle and hair to rise. Okay. This is stuff to consider.
I'll take care of it.
F5. There we go. Shit over here. Iron Qatar. This is weaker. Wait, no. Gotta switch to yeah. Oh, this is even worse.
Cut the banter and stay low.
Looks like you're the only ones here.
As you command.
Let's do it, you and me. Ready for another?
Generating corrode damage. That's shitty.
Shall we? Yes.
Probably wasted that.
I'm on.
Long run. An elemental barrier. Defense against paralyzed, burning. This is really good. It's really good. Think about how I want that.
Consider it done.
No, 5. Mead. Alright, you. Merrick. Talk. Alright. What are you doing here, betrayer? I have nothing to say to you. Alright. 1, I will leave you to your misery. Alright. I can't do anything more involved. Alright. Where are we going now? Bastard City. I bet when we reach a certain point of animosity with any one faction, I wonder if they won't start sending people after us. Because that's totally what they did in... It's what they did in Fallout New Vegas. If you piss somebody off enough. Let's go here. So anyway, when I gave Ebb the Staff of Hours, it looks like it started some kind of quest or something. I don't know. Quest, inventory, character sheet, talent, journal. Hundreds well. No. The silence of secrets. Alright, no. Maybe it was a reputation thing. Yeah, I got this. No, I had that. As well. Artifact, alright. Okay, that's interesting. I have... There's a thing. Slowing this... Okay, that's what it was. Full AoE, alright, that's not bad. Go back to doing shit. Alright, so I set up this guy to forge a spear called Elegance. So that will be taken care of, presumably, at some point in the future. Alright, where the fuck am I supposed to be going now? Alright, journal. I'll just go. Oh, fuck, I'll go to Nerat. Being dumb. Alright. Zoom in. So I tried dicking around with the spell creation. I don't fucking understand it, like, at all, but I was able to improve... What's his that? I was able to improve one of Lantry's spells. So that was... Alright. And the voice is Nerat. 7 Toes. I bet all the kids fucking made fun of 7 Toes when he was little. They got shit to say. Come on. Things run hot again. Alright. You've carved out a real knack for yourself by breaking the Overlord's edicts left and right. Whatever Tunon is paying you for your services, I'd say you're due for a raise. How does it feel? Not only have you given voice to the Overlord's will, but you're breaking Kairos' magic left and right. Mission, alright. I don't understand. I'm exposing myself to powers I don't understand. War is about taking risks, and you're putting yourself out there more than anyone. I can't help but respect that. I'm here if you need me, but I don't have a mind for arcane wisdom. I'll do whatever I can to get our little gang through this war, and if it ever looks like your strength is flagging, I'll put you out of your misery and take control. Cheer up, alright.
What do you need?
Yeah. 7. And Lantry's got something to say. Come on.
That's twice now. By Kairos' icy nevers. Twice! Edicts have been broken before, but never in all my many years have I heard of one person doing it twice.
Alright. Anybody could do it. Just think about the wording of the edict and you'll find Kairos' left options. I mean, I guess I'm kind of a lawyer, so that makes sense.
That's like saying winning a war is as simple as raising a giant army and making all the right maneuvers. Knowing what must be done and actually doing it, well, that's the dividing line between being a legend and being forgotten.
Yeah. Oh, so what's on your mind? Did you want to discuss matters on the present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? That's all for now. Let's see how that affected my rep. God damn it, where's rep? Reputation is a goblet, because of course it is. almost got this thing. Right. And... see the Saturn Archive. Yep, the sensors no longer had any purpose beyond serving as a vessel for its knowledge. Alright. Knowledge she has been propped upright by multiple spikes, a guard's reminder of the limits to personal advantages within the course. Alright. The voices of Nerat regards you with an unreadable expression. Alright. Death surrounds us, but it would be useless to avoid inevitability. That is a lesson Graven Ash and his fast-clotting army will never understand as they scramble to avoid the grave. Welcome back, Fatebiter. Or do you need to know? We're dizzy with answers. I mean, he knows what I did. You are a remarkable person, alright? Why, we're honored that you would ask. We always thought that knives were the friendliest weapons, so eager to meet new people, so you really have to appreciate these things. But we suspect that isn't what you want to know. Take the form of a puff of green mists. No, it isn't. Oh, certainly that's it. Tell me more. I feel like he's going to stab me if I say that. We're the Archon of Secrets, but call us whatever you want. Stories are our real trade. Take it from us. Everyone has a story, and all are welcome in our Hall of Wonders. I see. I'm happy to eat people's brains. Right? You'll have to excuse us if we ever seem not ourselves. Sometimes our stories bubble over the sides of the pot and spill through our mouth. Not to worry, it happens to us all. Alright. Here's about your history. Alright, by all means then. Would you prize secrets from our green flame, or luxuriate in the coming wind of our brilliance? Well, you cannot. Every secret is as precious to us as 1,000 lies, and we will consign you to the interrogators if we find you stealing even a recipe for hardtack. From your brilliance, alright. With an unreadable expression again. Have at us then. You may question us to your heart's content. Show no mercy. Your body, the green flames. Why? Why do you speak of yourself in the plural form? That much should be obvious. We are multitudes, an army into ourselves, a council of shadows, babbling to be heard. Where there was one, now there are many. We are legion, a stream, quote the Bible, why don't you? A stream of consciousness, given shape, will, and intention. We are the voices of Nerat. Alright, your body, the green flames. Why? We are greater than our confines. No stable form can house our magnificence. Collar, okay. No mind could house our intellect. No body could entrap our skill. We are an all-consuming fire, unfixed and resplendent. You are art, alright? Kiss his ass, alright. Yes, and you're a receptive audience. You understand us more than many have tried, or ever will. Tell me about your rise to power. In our youth, we were the youngest scion of House Nerat. Okay. He used to be a person, one person. These would be the early years of Kairos' reign. If numbers make any difference to your fragile matter. The Northern Empire wasn't the bastion of order and peace as we know it today. Our gracious overlord contended with sedition and lawlessness from his subjects, from his enemies, and even from the noble house of Nerat, alright? Whispers spread as whispers do. House Nerat never lacked in petty neighbors and bitter rivals. You must remember that these were delicate years for the Overlord. An accusation of treason was as damning as was damning treasonous was as damning as treason itself. Something had to be done before we fell under the shadow of our family's guilt. Or did you escape the shadow of guilt? We did what came naturally, of course. We took initiative. Before any accusations could fly, we had our family driven to the city square and pilloried among the masses of Kairos' unfaithful. Before the shocked eyes of the community, we interrogated them one by one, flaying their skins with tanner knives and putting their loyalties to the test. Father, mother, sisters, aunts, all of them questioned, all of them found guilty. Alright. What city was this? In no tongue your ear would recognize, we called it Waterlog Marsh. You won't find our homeland on maps, but that is a story for another day, okay? Were they guilty? We don't remember. We remember choosing to survive. We remember the sound of skin peeling away from muscle. The rest was formality. It was all a demonstration for the Overlord. This one can be trusted. A message that was gratefully received. Alright. Our devotion to Kairos was the terror and pride of the community. The son of Nerat had grown to something greater than our family name. In time, the Archon of Misery heard tell of our deeds and invite us into a better life. The Archon of Misery. I don't know who that is. Alright, kiss ass again. House Nerat needed to be cleansed of treachery. If you truly believe so, then you're beginning to think like an Archon. So the Archon of Misery offered a better life. He took it upon himself to be our instructor. He taught us the beauty of agony, how to slide the knife just so, how to divide flesh with no mortal wound, and how to inflict waking nightmares upon our foes. No more of our clumsy, blood-soaked efforts for spectacle. True torture is a sensory performance, staged for an audience of one. He made us an artist. We were proficient at our work. Our names spread beyond the boundaries of the Child Empire, as people whispered it in private or shrieked it in fear. Whole galleries were erected to display our accomplishments, which were studied and interpreted by head-scratching scholars. Our talent was the blade, rope, and saw. Our talent with the blade, rope, and saw. Okay, well, I don't know how that works. Grew so renowned that Kairos' faithful and unfaithful alike believed we could steal truths from their minds with little more than a stare. And in time, life imitated art. Such is the beauty of Kairos' domain, that the remarkable reign over the mediocre, that their talents are recognized, nourished, and perfected. Okay? I want to ask about your power. You are a remarkable person. We must concede to your flattery, but we can't boast anything as incredible as power, can we? Yeah, you're kind of emit ghost flames and shit. Alright. They say you're an interrogator without equal. What's your secret? We are full of secrets, and we can't be expected to share them with the adoring masses. We're certain that you have a few of your own and wouldn't want them brought to light. But we do love a flatterer, don't we? A kind word here and there is enough to melt the coldest heart, of which we have several. I'm ready to learn anything you'll teach me. Teach you, impudent, ambitious little morsel. Our lessons come at a steep price. You will come to learn all of us in time. Observe the workings of cacophony. Observe our grand design. One day our talents will be laid bare for you, alright? This is in your head. Oh, that's cool. Would you follow us to the end of the ends and seek your rewards for faithful service? There are wonders to behold, Fatebinder. Such wonders as you cannot imagine. Alright. I bet he's wondering if we'll betray Tunon for him. Cool. The prodigy cannot begin to understand, otherwise Nerat steals the minds and knowledge of his victims. You know this happened often during the campaign against the Tears. What he gains from this ability, beyond his apparent madness, is anyone's guess. Is your knowledge limitless? What a question. We know many things beyond the purview of the disgusting farmers and merchants you'll find outside of our vaunted stronghold, much more than any of them could learn in 100 lifetimes. When you know as much as we do, this much will seem obvious. He leans uncomfortably close to whisper, "Nothing is limitless, child. Alright? Have you ever tried to absorb another Archon? It amuses us to no end that you would bring that up, a brave question, full of meaning, of questions of challenge. Listen to you. We have had occasion to execute an Archon or two when Bled and Mark was unavailable. This was all within the limits of the law, you understand. Someone gets an inflated sense of self-importance and decides to start their own small empire, and we step forward to volunteer our services. The experience was always less fulfilling than we had hoped. Their personality succumbs to us, but none of their power, a waste of potential, we call it. Happens after you interrogate someone. It's a transcendent experience. The subject and I, we grow to trust and depend upon and even love each other. Alright? We have long since learned that pain and intensity of our conversation make strange bedfellows. Applied together, anything can happen, alright? You might experience it for yourself, alright? He's threatening to eat us. I guess I have to tell him about this. You returned victorious, and our censor has come back to the fold with a wealth of intelligence. As much as her meager brain could hold under the circumstances, but do not grow complacent. We have much work to do before the tears are draped in scarlet robes. The censor returned to us without the silent archive. We suppose Tunon ought to know that you're not just in possession of forbidden lore. You've the teachings of the tears with you. Now you're the expert here. But that seems enough to warrant intent to distribute. We are tempted to ask what our silence is worth. It'd be hard for us to keep a straight face, alright? Forbidden lore, Son Arc, I have no idea what you mean by all this. Quit speaking in riddles. Oh, what a silly cock we are being. Well, you know it's prone to babble. So sorry to have you even hinted at the possibility of you violating the rules. The edict of fire is quenched and the ruins smolder no more, yet we detect a fire all the same. Wicked fate binder, it burns in your heart, warming you with knowledge and great power. Do not deny you have changed before our many eyes. Right? Maybe more experienced perhaps, but not more powerful. We think not. You are too humble for your own good, potent one. The tears warp to fit the design you impose with your every footstep. Alright, very useful to him. But enough of this. We demand progress, and nothing will ever get done if you insist on plaguing us with frivolity. The time has come to handle matters in our home region. As you have no doubt noticed, the Edict of Stone has wreaked havoc on these once fertile lands. Our Scarlet Corps recruits returned from the war hungry for provisions. We have none to offer, while the lands are thus blighted. The Archon Cairn... Okay. So the Archon of Stone, Master of Earth and Soil, Destroyer of Mountains and Cities. Cairn is a reluctant leader of the Earthshaker Guild, though he is less their teacher and more their object of study. The massive Archon is sworn to Graven Ash. The Archon Cairn lies in the Stone Sea, clinging to life with both of his petrified claws. If we would simply allow death to take him, the edict would be resolved and our troubles at an end. Kill the incompetent fossil however you can. He is flanked by adoring Earthshaker mages, but they should prove no challenge to the likes of you. Halfgate is now unlocked on the world map. Find our agent Misery in the ruined city of Halfgate. She will instruct you further. She has disappointed us to no end with her performance in the region so far. If you cannot squeeze some usefulness out of her, then I'm afraid her time in the course has come to an end. So we got the Edict of Stone. Kairos brought down the edict to execute the rebellious, misguided Archon. It would seem Cairn is just tough enough to endure the torment of the edict, but only barely. While the Archon insists in surviving, the edict ruins the land. Alright. If Cairn were to be put out of his misery, the Edict of Stone would subside. We could then set our serfs to soil. And grow. He's gonna farm. Okay, cool. The Stone Sea. Legend little home was once the breadbasket of the realms. These days, it is pitted in treacherous catastrophe waiting to happen. Improvement, we think, but hardly a convenient one. A tribe of beastmen roam these lands, unshackled from the bonds of their human masters. These days, they have no love for our kind, so take care. I was Karen. Karen is hardly the deadliest Archon ever to walk Tyranny, but he's certainly one of the toughest. His refusal to die even in the face of Kairos magic is an impressive display of defiance, but an utterly futile one. His life by a mere thread, unable to move, unable to speak, truly a sad state that only a traitor deserves. Killing him would be a true act of mercy, your good deed for the weak. What tribe of beastmen? They call themselves the Stone Stalkers, strong, willful, and reeking of sex. We can't help but adore the creatures. We long for an opportunity to learn from one of their mightier specimens. We had in mind their Prima, a fearsome mystic known as 100 Blood. I think I'll have to bring What's-Her-Ass back onto the team. Alright. Have I sent you anyone who didn't end up on a spike or missing? What a ridiculous question, Fatebinder. We're horrified that you would even ask Audacity. It doesn't suit you at all. I'll head deeper into the Stone Sea. And don't forget to bring us a souvenir of your travels. Cacophony has its charm, but we are always seeking outside amusements. Looks like I leveled up. I have someone leveled up. Horse Favor, Visage of Terror. Karen's final song. Check reputation. The missive from Tunon, and he's gonna be angry, I feel like. Missives. Tunon. You are to report to the bastard city at once. Be prompt lest I make the mistake. Well, that seems... Send a confirmation. As you request, Archon Tunon, as you request, I'll appear in your court in good time. Alright? Transit 1 day. I gotta see reputation. Scarlet Chorus, alright. Visage of Terror. Terrified Affliction for 6 seconds. That's not bad. Radius. It's an AoE. It's a cone. Or it's not really a cone if it's only in 2 dimensions, so it's more like a... Quickness is... Bonus experience for dual wield bows and athletic skills. That could be useful. Okay, I'm not wearing only light armor. Stunning them. Gain bonus damage against targets suffering from damage over time effects. Alright. Alright, I'll do that. I think I'll head back to Tunon, make sure he doesn't get pierced, because he'll get pierced. Because he's still my boss. So I guess they use birds to send messages, but it's sort of weird that that would... feel like he might get angry. Received the message from Tunon. Status report. Alright. Okay. Report in good time. Excellent. We await your return. Alright. I said I would. There's Mark Bledenstein. Weird that he doesn't show up as a star. Your turn as summoned. Despite the weight of responsibility on your shoulders, the court appreciates your devotion to our good work. It should come as no surprise that your activities are closely monitored. As an extension of Kairos law in the frontier, your progress is a topic of some interest. I sent you on a mission to bring order to the chaos of this civil war. Not enough time has passed for me to expect any significant progress, but I am curious about your findings all the same. I want to make sure your time outside the court's shadow is being used effectively. You've gained favor with Tunon, alright? The Scarlet Chorus sing of your name across the tiers. You must have taken some brutal measures to earn their interest. No small feat. No matter what terrors you inflict on this fallen realm, I hope that you continue to observe the voices of Nerat. If he has sowed chaos in this campaign, the court would know of it. I am happy to be an asset to Kairos forces and to pull chaos out by the root. This is all the court has ever demanded of you. You do well to recall your duties with such exacting precision. You have spent some time on your own recognizance. The efforts of our military and the challenges they face should be no mystery to you. Tell me, are you any closer to determining which of the Archons is at fault for the troubles of this campaign? Oh, damn. I could just out him out now. I do not have sufficient... I have almost nothing on Graven Ash. I really don't. If I'm being really honest, though, I have a lot of shit on Voices of Nerat. I mean, Versa will be pissed at me. I do not have sufficient information to make an informed accusation. It's not really true. Verse is gonna hate me. Interesting. On what grounds do you make this claim? Was Nerat wanted the forge-bound master taken from Lethian's Crossing? The educator weighs your statement with interest. The space between the eyes of his mask narrows, though the changes is too gratifying for you to follow. You gain favor with Tunon. Material evidence is hallowed to the court. I respect your diligence in collecting it, Fatebinder. You bring hope to my ambitions of bringing order to this divisive campaign. Be sure that you remember this and any other evidence you identify when you're called upon to present your findings in a more formal manner. Alright. I look forward to receiving your full report. I will summon you again at the appropriate time. If there's nothing further, you're dismissed. I have some questions first. What is it we wish to know? I wish to speak about the matters of law. Then you are well situated, for my court is the legal heart of this corrupt and uncivilized realm. What matters draw your curiosity? You're already well versed in Kairos laws, but I am happy to discuss the particulars. Remind me how the Overlord's name may be used. I'll just ask everything. I wish to discuss Kairos' peace. The cornerstone of our wartime efforts, of course. Kairos' peace guarantees all willing supplicants under the Overlord's authority a place in her world. The exact wording of the bylaw is your life is not yours to discard. Yours to discard. The Overlord has plans for you, alright? So you can't commit suicide. This extends to several spheres of influence. Among others, it grants protection to enemies who surrender in a time of war, and it forbids suicide, I figured. Presents with the Overlord's vassal and property prohibited. The Overlord's vassal and property is prohibited. Okay, people don't have rights. They are Kairos' property, basically. Remind me how the Overlord's name may be used. It is not forbidden to cross one's tongue with Kairos' name, but it behooves one to use caution and respect. That's very vague. The Overlord's name is not yours to give, whether to progeny, product, location, or abstraction. Slander of the Overlord's name is punishable by death. Okay. You cannot name anything, any person, thing, place, or concept. And you can't say talk shit, alright? That seems expectable. There's only one Kairos, and her name is safeguarded. No one may say Kairos and have it obfuscated by a second meaning. Okay. That makes sense. Neither will her name be associated with trivialities. A gambler will not attribute his fortune to Kairos luck or his misfortune to Kairos scorn. Such an association lowers the Overlord in the public estimate and is rightfully considered slander, most foul. Alright. Old walls. The old walls are forbidden, as are their contents and their denizens. Owning any item from the old walls is considered trespass, regardless of how it came into your possession. Mind that in the course of your travels. As the old walls extend across such of the tiers in Northern Empire alike, Kairos permits her servants to pass only where she has sculpted the landscape to permit traverse. Under no circumstances are you to enter a breach in the old walls, even for a task as innocent as crossing to the other side. I've broken those rules, I think. Pretty sure I have. If these restrictions seem too severe, I would remind you that they are the protection of Kairos subjects. The Overlord has no desire to see harm needlessly inflicted upon her loyal followers. Remind me of the magician's folly. Practitioners of the arcane arts must be sanctioned by one of Kairos' guilds, such as the Blood Chanters or Forge-bound rogue magicians with a tenuous grasp of unknown powers will not be tolerated. Okay, magic is highly regulated. Right. That's not what he said. I said that. Right? And it's, I know. Eb lowers her gaze to the ground, thumbing the cords of her bandolier in a thinly veiled attempt to appear uninvolved in the discussion. So long as your Tidecaster remains your deputy, she will have the protection of the court, but not a moment longer. I must allow you to have the most fearsome agents at your side to dispense justice, but you remain culpable for her actions, alright? I must allow you those fearsome agents. So if I start fondling... So if I start fondling that tall slab of handsome over there, you're the one guilty of molesting him. I can live with this. Okay. She's sexually... Okay. Gain average fear. Clear silently. I won't pick. Sanctioned mage, whose spellcasting causes damage to life or property, is lawfully deemed innocent. A sanctioned mage whose spell... As long as they are practicing their art in the service of Kairos, all is forgiven. Alright. Quotas and sharing. The harvest blooms and blights by the will of Kairos in times of lean. You will be fed. In times of wealth, you will feed others. Okay. This law is a sizable category unto itself, serving many needs at once, trade and tax being only two examples. The broadest intent of the law is to empower Kairos subjects to care for their neighbor and expect care in return. You might take note of the law's application to trade. A merchant's right to peddle their wares is defined by permits granted annually. The regional authority has the right to decide if a merchant sells cabbage one year and sandals the next. Anyone breaking their restrictions is subject to immediate forfeiture of all assets. You need not concern yourself over the nuances, at least until they apply to this contested realm in a time of peace, alright? I'm curious about the restriction on forbidden knowledge. Kairos herself sets the standards of what can and cannot be known. Okay, these restrictions are rarely enforced, but they are worth taking into account, alright? So you can die for knowing too much, okay? Or knowing the wrong specific things. During the war, for example, Kairos deemed the knowledge of the Vellum Citadel taboo. No one may possess the wisdom of that fallen repository save Kairos herself. And Lantry is going to be uncomfortable. Calling it all taboo seems a bit like overkill, but to play Kairos advocate, the world would hardly be safer if all had access to the lore of making poisons or the art of arming brigands in fine bronze. This is for the protection of her subjects before the coming of Kairos during the ages of anarchy and discord. Powerful knowledge in undeserving hands leveled empires without thought or mercy. Kairos had no desire to revisit those dark times. I feel like, of course, I'm beholden to these laws, you know. That should not be in question. We are all subject of Kairos. Her laws define and regulate our very way of life. With that said, as an agent of law, you are granted more leeway than a soldier or citizen. You may find yourself compelled to commit morally questionable acts in the name of Kairos. If it serves the court's justice, much may be forgiven. The rules don't apply to you so long as you're enforcing them on someone else or your job. If the guard finds any of your actions suspect, we will summon you to answer for yourself. Your testimony will be heard and judgment rendered. You are exceedingly curious about the application of Kairos laws. I find it refreshing that you would seek my counsel, Fatebinder. Back to my previous questions. Tell me about Bledenmark. He is my headsman and an assassin without equal. His official designation in Kairos hierarchy is the Archon of Shadows, though I wonder that he ever considers himself aught but a slayer of the unjust. How did he earn his title? His work away from the court takes Bledenmark to the dark places of the world. The Tears and the Northern Empire alike. Over time, the Shadows became his dominion. They cloak him, protect him, and even fight for him if the need arises. Okay, you can summon shadow demons, alright? It is said that Bledenmark can travel to any place where shadows are cast. Only he would know this for certain. Does Bledenmark serve you alone? Your question is flawed. We are all servants of Kairos. The Archons are also agents of her own interest. Those chosen few, empowered to bring order to the world in accordance with Kairos peace. At present, Bledenmark is my vassal, and I his patron. The relationship is not so different from Graven Ash and Cairn, the fallen Archon, or the voices Nerat and his songbird Siren. Okay. Siren works for voices than Nerat. I didn't know that. I guess that's why she was there. Such partnerings and apprenticeships are common. They provide mutual benefit to the Archons involved, as well as a measure of oversight. Back to my previous questions. Tell me about our Overlord. Tunon Favor 2. Kairos is our Overlord. She ushers us from the brink of chaos with a stern hand and gestures to the way of peace. We are only too eager to follow in her perfect example. I couldn't help but notice that River to Kairos is a woman. Tunon gain minor wrath. Gain minor wrath. Why would he gain wrath? How old is Kairos? By our reckoning, her age upon Taratus is magnificent. Her true span defies measurement by our limited construct of time. It'd be a waste to spend our few pitiable years attempting to solve that riddle of existence. Think of Kairos not as a subject to beginnings or endings. Kairos is and Kairos will ever be. As your relationship of Kairos, she is my master and I her dutiful pupil. In this respect, you and I are no different. I have the honor of Kairos' confidence. She trusts me to enact her law upon the boundless territory of her rule. I am only too grateful to serve. I am the voice of Kairos' will and the harbinger of her judgment and the armor of her justice. Tunon game, I don't want to game wrath with him. Let me ask you about something else. Because of your time, the tears do not rest. I'm curious about you, Archon. Curiosity is not a trait that I encourage in my servants. Too often have I witnessed such activity leading down a path to lawlessness. However, if you feel that a better understanding of me will inform your work, then I will allow what you know. What's the deal with your mask? Get average wrath, alright. Tell me about your rise to becoming Adjudicator. Curb your ambitions, student. My path to this dies. That's not a word I know. It's not one that could be replicated under any circumstances. However, your curiosity is determined. I will tell you my story. My sage friend here would add to his chronicle that others might learn from it. Why, yes, I would be most honored. Lancher grabs his largest quill and pulls out a fresh sheet of parchment, the first time you've ever seen him not start a note on the back of a prior work in progress. I came into the world many centuries ago, before the dream of a unified Northern Empire was fully realized. My home country lay far from the borders of Kairos' realm, and our conquest was a matter of distant speculation. Decades before rumor of Kairos' approach grew in a panicked volume, I familiarized myself with the intricacies of her law. It took me no time at all to realize the benefits of our inevitable subjugation. I took it upon myself to rise in my country's governance as an arbiter of law and a drafter of covenants, building some notoriety for my execution of fair justice. As my influence and the trust of my people evolved, my decisions transcended to define future precedents. Go on. What my countrymen could not have surmised was that I had woven into our customs the very backbone of Kairos law. I set the stage for the conquest of our floundering nation to join the Overlord's empire. Right? My countrymen could not. Okay. By the time the Overlord's armies presented themselves and offered terms of surrender, we had adopted Kairos peace in all but name. Our absorption into the Northern Empire was a matter of legal formality, negligible changes to our already beloved document of law. Okay. So he was already a ruler. So he created a gradual transition. That was probably smart. The people credited me as the architect of peace, and for a time called me Tunon the Fair. As my importance grew in their estimate, Kairos could not help but learn of the part I played in her bloodless victory. Kairos law has a breadth of intricacies that is unapproachable to the masses. I was chosen to interpret and represent the Overlord's will across the Northern Empire and beyond. At this time as educator, it is my pride, my duty, my life. What does it mean to be an Archon? I am a figure of power and significance, and under Kairos' mandate, I am able to exercise my authority for the benefit of all. Had I not earned the Overlord's approval, I would not stand tall before you. Alright. Did you come into power yourself, or did Kairos foster your talents? An astute question. Doubtless I exhibited some spark of potential on my own, insignificant though enough to accomplish deeds of note. Only under Kairos' tutelage have I grown to these heights. Could anyone become an Archon? Absolutely not. Only a precious few grow into this authority, were it otherwise, Tyranny would descend into pandemonium. Of those few who rise into power, fewer still have the self-control to make lawful use of their talents, and of those who can, fewer still are deemed worthy of Kairos' approval. Yeah. All are subservient before Kairos, but I intuit your meaning. The Overlord takes great pains to recognize potential. Before an Archon comes into their power, they will have faced the harshest scrutiny by an agent of recruitment, if not Bladen Mark himself. All right. Those who are found worthy of incredible deeds but refuse to join their strength to the needs of the Empire are doomed to die. Worthy of incredible deeds, but okay. Join this. Those who wish to make a name for themselves are invited into the fold to serve and rule the needs of the Empire. That is the price of power in Kairos' hierarchy, alright? Did you come up with the Office of Fate Minders? Indirectly, yes. Just as I am the representative of Kairos laws across Tyranny, you are the face of my judgment of the people. I took inspiration from the Overlord's example, as we all should. People needed an approachable face to settle their grievances, and I am not available to educate on every sharecroppers' dispute. The fate binders were an inevitable solution, alright. So, micromanaging, alright. Why is curiosity such a problem? Because my vassals are not selected for their independence of thought. You are an agent of law, an execution of which falls within strict confines. Your intellect may aid the tasks ahead of you, but your unwavering obedience is of greater value to me. I won't be a sarcastic dick. I understand, Archon. Be sure that you do. Back to my previous question. I have no more questions. They're not underway. Well, the ability Wheel of Ages. Alright, sweet. Alright, now, Lantry. You work together. Slowing the aura around a party member. Foes within the range of the aura are slowed. A party member. Have their hostile effects suspended. Alright. When party members move. This is interesting. It's complicated. Foes within the range of the aura are slowed. When party members move inside the aura, they will have their hostile effects suspended. So it effectively doesn't count while they're in effect. Talk to Blend and Mark if he has anything to say. How about, okay, he doesn't have anything to say. Well, I think I'll go. Next time I'll switch out, I think I'll switch out, no, I think I'll switch out Verse for, Beast Woman, can't remember her name, and then I'll go do that thing with the stone dude. Alright. So, Butt Stuff signing off.